Don't forget to leave your mics. I won't ask for it, just share it later.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and open the Board of Works of Public Works and Safety tonight, January 25th, 2021. Can you please rise for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Carol, we'll start out tonight with a here.
Greg Miller,
Present.
Megan Sheets,
Present.
Next on the agenda are the minutes from the January 11th, 2021 regular meeting. Did anyone have any questions, concerns, or could I get a motion to approve those?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes from January 11th meeting.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Next on the agenda is approval of claims. I think you have the claims down there if you have any questions or concerns. If not, could we get a motion to approve those?
Yes, I'll make the motion to approve the claims as presented this evening.
Second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Did you have any public comments? Did anybody see that?
I signed up for public comment.
About that parks thing?
Yeah,
Do you mind if we wait till we do?
That's totally fine.
Okay, we'll do that then. Next are department reports. First up, Police Department, Chief Shoemaker.
Mayor and board, I think there's an application for public financing that needs to be approved for the mayor to sign. This was 2 weeks ago, we asked for this to purchase the vehicles, and Carol, our coach treasurer, Bartleby, has prepared those documents for your review of the mayor's signature.
So that's what we need then is a motion to approve this lease, correct? Give me the authority to sign.
To approve the lease and give the mayor the authority to sign on behalf of the city.
I'll make the motion that we approve the lease for public financing and give the mayor the authority to execute the documents of the city of Frankfurt.
I second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Aye.
Also, you've received our annual report. I emailed that to you. I want to thank Deputy Chief Skinner, who's here with me, and Colleen Moore for our help. We started at mid-December, put together our yearly stats, crime stats, to our new hire promotions, and Annie has helped get that on the website. We'll be sharing that link to the public tonight and tomorrow. So if you have any questions on that, Jim's here. We've hired a lot of people, a lot of different things going on last year, and crime is going down, continue to go down. Over the last really 5, 6, 7 years. So that's a good thing. Officers can be bored, but that's another thing we have to work on, keeping active. The last thing I had too is I need to order some Dell computers. I had forwarded a quote for Dell. We're going to, last I heard, we all have too many monitors and basements and stuff, so we're actually going to buy the computer without the monitors and reuse our monitors. I'm asking the total purchase of $25.05 for the 3 computers. They're $835.29 a piece. I'd like to pay for those items out of our forfeiture account, our continuing ed account, our detective services, and then the rest of the computer. The reason we do that is the forfeiture of the continuing ed is paid for by fines and fees and for violating speeding tickets or items with seizures or restitution. So I'd like to use that first and then.
And you do have the money in each one of those appropriations, correct?
Yes.
That would cover that. And still leave money for what you need for the rest of the year.
Are these in-house computers that you have for?
Yeah, these will be for the two detectives in their offices, and then one, we have our monitor computer type report writing area and the officer.
I'll make a motion that we accept the proposal for the computer for the Franklin Police Department.
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
And Scott, before we move on, I just wanted to say, this annual report, I love, this is outstanding. How long did you say it had been since we've had something like this before?
We've got one in the safe, we do a lot of annual, reporting, crime reporting, we've done that for years, but 1942, I believe it's the Chief Glenn Nichols, I don't remember exactly. There were 10 police officers, 2 patrol cars, and they worked 7 days a week, 8-hour days. And so we surprisingly, it's still in good condition. So we have that for you. I think I told you I was going to bring it and I forgot it, but I will bring it. It's interesting what's going on. I think some of the things we talk about bomb shelters and
air raid tag is amazing. When you start going through this, it'll take you a while, but it's so interesting. The time and effort back then they put in to produce this document is amazing. It's all done on a typewriter.
On the typewriter? Well, I appreciate all your work on this, Jen, and will you let Pauline know as well? I mean, this is very interesting. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time. You didn't do this quickly, I can tell. It took some time.
And that's really all I had. Unless you have questions, like we'll be able to counsel the Jennifer Grassley request for code enforcement. I don't know if you want to talk about that again.
Scott's going to go before the council tonight. According to resolution, we have a grass lien fund, and in order to spend money out of there, outside of basically to file the liens, there's just a few other things. They have to go before the council. They're kind of appropriated fund, so they have to get permission to use the money out of there. And it's for a couple of radios, and the cost of those are going to be
just over 5,000 for 2 radios. The same reason those are violations that are paid for by the people who aren't mowing the yard, cleaning the property. And I'd like to use those funds for that, and not use the general fund for it.
what happens is if we go out and mow a yard for someone and the city has to do it, they're charged $100 and they're given, I think it's like 10 days or something that they can pay that. And if they do not, then it goes to court and it's filed as a lien. So that fund that is in there, I think there's $13,000 right now.
Yes.
We did not collect any this year in there, but I think it's probably because of COVID and we probably didn't do as much work as far as the mowing, right? Probably.
Yeah, we're gonna, I think after this, if it's approved, we're gonna leave it alone for a little bit. Also last year, we were short-staffed with code enforcement and it was April, like March and April when COVID had hit. And we just did, honestly, I think that everybody agrees that going out there and enforcing that was not the best use of our resources at the time. So then hopefully this year, not that I want grass liens, but hopefully people, if they don't, will be out there this spring enforcing that.
So this was passed in 2007, and then the money that goes over for the liens to the auditor's office, and that money is collected by state statute, has to go to the city general. This is the money that we get before it goes for the lien. So they would, if they give approval tonight, then of course the board of works would be the ones that would have to sign off on the claim, if you guys would be okay with that.
That's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Jason's on the phone, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, Jason, what do you have for us tonight?
Jason, you might be muted. We're ready for your report.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, I just had a purchase of a 1-ton truck with the dump bed that goes with that for out of our capital improvement plan on a CTD 460.000. We had 3 quotes from the truck from Pearson Ford, from Mike Razor Ford, and from Lewis Ford in Lebanon. Lewis Ford with a little bit at 43,000 each. Mike Razor was 43,679, and Pearson was 43,786. So with the board's approval, we'd like to move forward and go through Lewis and Lebanon for 43,085 for the truck. And then the stainless steel dump body that we put on all of our 1 tons, obviously for the salt, is from Clark Equipment in the amount of $14,399, which totals $57,484 for both. There's $57,500 in that final.
And this year we budgeted that in our QCAP development.
So it's CCD 460.000.
Okay. Yes. So that was part of his capital plan for this year. And then we took it out, the expense out of MVA, and put it in QCAP development, just because of the funding that we needed in MVA to sustain that budget.
And are these figures the plow?
No, they do not. That is just the salt bed and the truck itself. So he thinks, correct me, Jason, if I'm wrong, but he thinks that he can probably get the plow out of another part of your budget. Is that correct?
That's right. Yeah, that won't be any problem at all. I'm looking at probably a repairs line, Greg, or something like that as we get early in the year for the plow. And then we'll wait until the end of the year to see where we're at and look at the salt spreader. You can see I think you all got emails from me with the quotes from Clark on the plow and the salt spreader. The plow's about $5,500. That won't be any issue to come up with at some point in time in our budget. And the same with the salt spreader. But the salt spreader won't be needed until probably the end of this year. We've got 5 salt trucks that we run with. That's plenty to run with. And then we can look near the end of the year to see where we're at budget-wise to look into a salt spreader. But we're looking at the plow here early in the year, maybe from a couple of different lines, possibly just a repair line. These obviously, these purchases go up every year. The truck went up about $4,500, and the dump bed went up about $4,000 or $5,000 from the last time we purchased these things. So, that's why we're in the shape we're in. That's probably my fault, but at this point in time, like I said, we're not really in need of a salt spreader. And we can look at that near the end of the year and see where we're at.
Do you have any other questions?
I know that during budget time last year, in preparation for this year, it was a discussion that was had at that time to plan for this. So I do understand the need and the projection for purchase. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve the purchase of the truck for Lewis Ford and the salt bed from Clark Equipment.
Say second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets,
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets,
Jason, you have approval then to go ahead with the purchase. Did they give you any idea how long it might be before you would be able to get this?
It's usually a couple of months to get the truck. Depending on we're still in the 2021 model. I do know they said if we got it in before, I think it was February the 12th, that they would be able to get it on this year's order. So that should help us a little bit rather than trying to go after 2022.
Okay, thank you, Jason.
And then, you're welcome. That's all I have there.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening.
Two.
Okay, next up, Parks Department. Or
All right, so first up, I've got the Neighborhood Center property use permit application. It's one you guys have approved in the past. It's just a change on a base-by-base case instead of just a blanket kind of use permit. So I think you guys are mostly familiar with it. Like I said, that was the only change.
Did you have any questions for Barb on this particular application?
No, and Barb, am I correct in that, for the neighborhood center, Prairie Creek Park, special event property use, fire alarm, although the fire alarm inspection is different. The addition of the alcohol provision, is it just in these first two? My question being, can we approve both at the same time, or should we provide separate motions for each one?
They are the same. I mean, that's up to you guys.
Les, would we be okay to?
You can do both.
So the same for Prairie Creek Park, it's the addition of the alcohol policy rules and regs has been added to the document.
Correct.
Okay. So in that we reviewed the documents before, it's just the addition of this particular document. I'll move that we approve the revised applications for both the neighborhood center and the Prairie Creek Park property use permit as presented to us this evening.
I second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
Thank you. The other one is the actual authorization to use the property. This form is new to you guys as far as I know. I think you had passed a similar one in the past, but this one was changed quite a bit from, I think, almost probably 2 years ago at this point. So.
Reader, do you have any questions for Barb on this?
I guess I'm not clear if this is this same one that we saw last year?
Yes, basically, it just has, again, the alcohol changes. And I think they just switched around the form, so it looks different.
I know we had a couple questions last year that pertain to the availability of police officers required to be at those type of functions. I'm not clear whether we got resolved for that.
Yeah, basically, the first step would be as soon as Kim gets this form, she would contact Scott, and then together they would decide if the police are going to be needed or not.
And then I think we talked about last year, the requirement if there was alcohol involved. Is that something that we were requiring?
It's the same thing. So basically, if it's going to be 60 people and they're at a bridal shower, technically in the old rules, they should have a police officer present. Now that's not necessarily going to be the case. That's going to be determined by the police chief, at each event.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I think we turned a lot of business around last year. If there's like you said, a bridal party, and they had a glass of wine or a baby shower. There was some, I don't know, mom drinking, but there was events that people wanted to have a glass of wine or two. I think there was one communion that, and we just felt like those kinds of events, that's all that they're doing. That they don't need to have a police officer there. But if it was a party, a graduation, people coming off the road for a band or something like that, that there would be police. Like over the bar, I don't know if we can allow it. But in receptions that were alcohol freely served, then there'd be police there.
So it's not going to be, my understanding, it's not going to be driven on the number of attendants. It's really going to be your evaluation type of event. It's going to drive it more.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
I'll make a motion that we accept the property use application, special event application.
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
The last thing you guys see there is the fire alarm permit application. However, the official one, it's going to look exactly like that. I found even more errors in the second document, so I sent it back to him a few hours ago. When he gets me the correct one with like the city of Frankfurt spelled correctly, for example. There's a few things that are just glaring typos. So before you guys sign the contract, I sent it back and I'm gonna have it revised. And then, so I'll just present it next time. It's not time sensitive. The first inspection we would have would be probably October. So we're not in a time crunch, so I'll just present it back next time. The only other thing that I had brought up with you guys, I had sent an email about the Fire and Ice Festival. Joel had let me know that we didn't get contacted about the fireworks being at Prairie Creek Park. Obviously, I have no issue with that, as long as you guys are okay with it. It's still the same professional people we had planning, to do the fireworks at a different part of the city. So I don't think we would have any issue at all with them being a PCP.
Joel, do you have anything you'd like to say about that?
The only other thing I have is that I talked to Kim Stevens because they did have fireworks at the last hot dog festival, and they did shoot them off at Prairie Creek Park. We will be shooting them off in the same spot. So Shooty met with her that owns the First Class Fireworks. He's actually the one that will be shooting them off. So he has all that covered and everything. We just wanted the permission to use it.
And we did find out about the permit, didn't we? That-
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He does not have to have the permit. Okay.
Does that require a motion to allow it at that location?
I don't think so. I think it's just, if you guys approve it or not, you can just let us know. Because, that's the plan.
We'll have a fire truck down there,
Okay.
and I think on the JC, the guys are gonna be over on Ohio Street, right, as Kevin talked to you about, and then up by Little's, the back of the building, Little's offices, to make sure don't fall out over there as well.
I just approve that by consensus if you guys are okay with it. Okay,
Awesome. Thank you.
thank you. And then, did you have another question for Joel?
I just was curious about the distribution of the hot chocolate.
The hot chocolate.
How are we mitigating the distance?
So a lot has changed actually for the hot chocolate since the last time I was here. Coach Kids has a positive case, so they will not be doing the hot chocolate anymore. Actually before they told me that they had the positive case, I was contacted by CR Catering, wanting to know if there was anything that they could do at the Fire and Ice Festival. So they have decided to do the hot chocolate. They got the permission of the county commissioners to park their trailer on the U-shaped drive of the courthouse. They said they will require people to walk up the center aisle. They are giving everything away. They are giving away hot chocolate and walking s'mores is what they called it, which is a marshmallow dipped in chocolate rolling graham cracker individually packaged. And so they said that they will have a table that's set up 6 feet away. They will slide stuff over on a tray for the people to take, and then they will exit down the ramp versus exiting down the side.
That's good.
And we actually have 27 sculptures this year, which is more than we had last year. And we're 100 pounds away from 8 tons of ice. So it should be pretty cool.
That's exciting.
Thank you so much.
Anything else, Gordon? Okay, thank you, Joel, for coming to see me.
That's all I had
I
for
think we
you.
have one more.
The avian exotic.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. So that application is new to you guys. That's the one Kim had sent you guys earlier in this week. It's not a permit for having the birds in the zoo.
So tell me exactly what this is. This is 10% discount on products and services. Do you take your animals there, or do you order product?
Yeah, so we get a ton of stuff from them. We use their business site exclusively. So by us signing that, we save quite a bit of money over time by having that permit with them.
So we've already been set up with them in the past.
Yes. Yeah, it's the same thing. It's just the uniform that they're doing.
Okay. And then there's a place for all of us to sign if we agree to that.
So we had to sign documents with them before?
I think so. That's what Kim said. Obviously I wasn't here, so I'm not 100% sure.
I don't remember them, but probably a few.
And it might have been that maybe the superintendent signed it last time without coming through the board.
Right, but this specifically asked for the governing body.
Right.
So you actually take the animals there
Yes.
to be treated
Mhm. Yeah, pretty well, like.
because I see, you know.
Unfortunately, we've been there this year even.
Oh, you have been?
Yeah, we were there just last week.
Okay.
So by looking at number 7, it looks like this is just an annual agreement.
Correct.
You're okay with it? I have a motion to approve this agreement, and of course, we'll all have to sign off on it.
I'll make a motion that we accept the ABM exotic agreement as presented by the Parks Superintendent.
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets, Greg Miller,
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
And then you'll have a copy.
Thank you, folks.
Okay, so I know we don't have building inspector's office, but are you working with Les on these bids or?
Just waiting for them to be
You
open
just
so I
waiting.
know who.
Okay. Okay. So Les, you're up.
These are the bids for the demolition of the structure at 1001 East Cliff Street. There are 3 of them today. The first one is from Campos Construction. And it is in the amount of $14,900. This estimate is not inclusive of any landscaping, electrical, plumbing, or sewage system work. Any changes will result in a new estimate being correct. They submitted with it a certificate of insurance and the specified amounts of liability for property damage and injuries. Campos Construction. The second one is from Axe Excavation and Services, AXE. And Axe Excavation Services proposes the following with respect to the demolition of 1001 East Cliff Street. Contact all necessary utility companies, ensure utilities are disconnected, have asbestos testing performed, mobilize all necessary equipment for completion of the project, perform pre-task planning and job site hazard analysis prior to work, set up all necessary barricades, safety cones, fencing, except demolish or destroy residential and dispose of all material associated with building demolition, backfill basement void with acceptable fill material, backfill final 6 inches with topsoil, spread grass seed, appropriate amounts of cover with erosion control blanket. Ensure all aspects of outline scope of work provided as requested, all safety barricades, fencing, demobilized with the site. And then there's a list of the materials. That quote is for $18,897. This quote does not include the removal and disposal of any asbestos material. If asbestos is found during the testing, a change order of additional price will be discussed. Does not include tax. Does not include any material outside the specified scope. That is Axe Excavation Services. I was looking for an address. Don't see one anywhere. There isn't even one address.
Did you contact them, John? I just wondered if you knew where,
We contacted everybody by email.
by email, okay.
This one, the third one is from Right Now Excavating LLC, 6629 South Penny Road, 400 East Kirkland. We hereby propose to perform all the labor necessary for the completion of the structure on premises is to be demolished, removed, and disposed of any basement areas to be filled with soil and postable to the city building inspector and surface level. Any debris and material in the yard is to be removed. $27,000. Right now, we're excavating LLC. Those are the three agreements.
So we can either decide to take what, to check maybe further, or do we have to go ahead and forecast it? It's not, I'm sorry, that's not. Well, do you have any recommendations? Have you worked with any of these before?
Asked steps on professional. Their compost took down the garage at 600 East Wabash. We did a great job. That barn was cleaning really, really bad. They're more than capable of doing it. I just want to make sure that everything that they say they're going to do meets the conditions of what we sent out. And if they have, then I'm okay with compost taking the house down.
There's quite a bit of difference in the amount of the bids on that. They're $14,900 and we go all the way up to $27,000. It's a big difference.
Could we
That's
approve?
the date. Did you say that they make contact, make sure all the utilities and they disconnect the lines and all those things?
That was in the Acts proposal, but I mean, they would have to do that anyway.
Yeah,
You have your own scope of work, but,
yeah.
part of the invitation proposed.
They have to go around and make sure all the utilities have been notified. So, I can tell you that until they took down the barn and I think Will's house, and they did a great job doing that. We were pretty concerned about that barn, because it was leaning so bad towards the other people's property. And, that went down pretty easily, so. I don't think this house has the challenge to it as that barn did. So if the board feels okay, do compost, we're okay with it. If you want to study it, we're okay with you studying it, so.
Do they provide insurance
Yes.
information? Okay. One of those two.
Good question. Did the company who took down the barn and did a great job, did they stick to their original estimate?
Could we entertain a motion accepting compost contingent upon building inspectors confirmation of the scope of work matching up?
Would that be okay for us to do that?
Yes.
I'll make the motion that we accept the compost bid contingent upon building inspectors review and affirmation of the scope of work being compliant to.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
So Don, if you would meet with them, and then if anything comes up that you're not sure about, get back with us and
We'll do.
see if we can do it.
Thank you very
I know
much.
you're anxious to get that down. We've been in
We are.
process, how long now?
I mean, there's been a lot of people involved with it, from Sam Payne to Kevin Evans, last voting, all the work he did to get to the final line on it with all the challenges that were there for, to get the house down. So we're very appreciative.
This was a property that had been damaged by fire.
Also life in that plan.
Thank you, Les. Next on the agenda is human resources. And Carol, did you want to talk to us about that a little bit?
Yes, we have revised, upon request of Board of Works, the quarantine pay protocol, mainly to include that COVID testing is a requirement if an employee goes out on quarantine and receives COVID pay. They would not be paid if they refuse a test. There's a couple other things in there as well.
We also added in there that they would have to use their paid time off, such as vacation, personal time, or sick time. They would not receive the, if they refuse to be tested during the time. But they would still have to be quarantined for that 14 days. Megan, Greg, do you have any comments on that?
No, I think this is just kind of buttoning up yet another question that might arise from the situation. So we tweaked and revised this protocol a couple different times. So some other questions have come up. So we're shoring it up yet again. So I'll make the motion that we approve the additional language to the quarantine pay protocol this evening.
Second to that.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
And then after that's signed tonight, if the department heads would make sure that your departments are aware of that in the new protocol, I appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is conflict of interest forms. This evening we have conflict of interest forms for Dan Davis with DNR Awards. I have one myself and JDS Welding. Carol has one because of ACCS. And then Marisol Douglas because of Douglas Window Tinting. Can we do those as a group or should we do them individually?
Unless anyone has a concern with any particular one, you can do them all together.
And then once we do this, they are sent to the state and recorded there.
The only question I have is on Marisol, is that a single transaction or is that the annual disclosure?
Did she not mark that? I'm gonna guess it would be an annual. Yeah.
It's a service of the
We might want to make sure that. Yes. Because don't you use them?
Yeah, there is time for you.
Yeah.
She's just missed that, I'm sure.
I'll make a motion that we accept the interest disclosure statements of all four individuals.
I'll second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets.
Aye.
Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
Aye.
And just a reminder to the department heads, if you have anyone else in your department that would want to turn these in, this is an annual disclosure. So even though they've done it last year, they need to do it again. So just remind them of that. Does anyone have anything else this evening?
I have one other thing, Mayor. We had the board will recall taken bids for quotes for purchase of the vacant lot at 1057 Walnut Avenue. This went back and forth quite a few times. Ended up at a bid of $6,000. One of the bidders suggested, why don't we just, the two adjoining neighbors on either side of both Nicholson and Nate, maybe each take a half of the lot. So the lot is 33 feet wide. You can't build on it or anything. And they'll each get 16.5 feet uniform width. Carlos Venegas will be purchasing the east half and James D. Pope the west half. And I have prepared purchase agreement email on everybody up there. I don't think they have that. Fairly short, very short back in the standard form. I did put in there if they want title insurance. They can pay for that sell is because this isn't a whole lot of money here, although it is twice what the assessed valuation is. And there are no taxes, there's just issues, drainage assessment. And we would have fancy closing costs, so I would just ask for my CE, the biggest purchase agreements I have here, that the motion passed, approving both agreements and authorizing the mayor to sign in any closing documents.
Thank you, Les. I'll make a motion that we approve both purchase agreements and give the mayor the authority to sign.
I second.
Roll call, please, Carol.
Mayor Sheets. Greg Miller.
Aye.
Megan Sheets.
So you've been in touch with them, then Les, will you get back with them and let them know what we decided? And then Carol, if that money comes in, I can go just let's. Does anyone have anything else this evening?
And I just want to check, last will they, both those individuals be responsible to go down to the courthouse and make sure that property is divided, and it gets reported, so it gets placed on Beacon.
I'll do that for them.
Okay.
If no one has anything else, motion to adjourn. Okay. Thank you, and thank you everyone for coming.
Did you see what's up on So right here, I don't know why.